Hi viewers, and welcome to the channel, and welcome to another episode of the mini-series for the Curves Workbench for freeCAD. Today we're looking at the mixed curve, which is here, and this allows you to create a 3D curve from two sets of 2D images, whether they're from the side, front, back, etc. We'll be using a number of curves that are created in the sketcher to make these 2D curves, and then we'll project those into a 3D representation of those curves that will fit, if you're tracing such things as this mouse, in the 2D view from the top and the 2D view from the side, and we get an exact representation of that in 3D space. As you can see, it can be used for any 3D modeling if you're tracing from a 2D image, as long as you've got two views of that 3D object. So let's have a look at the tool. If you like this video, please hit a like and also subscribe to the channel. I also have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate to my contributions to the community, and that's at ko-fi.com/mang0. So we're going to look at the tool and understand how to use this tool and what it can be used for. Before we start, we obviously need the Curves Workbench installed, which can be located on the add-on manager from Tools, Add-on Manager, and you can come down and install the Curves Workbench, which I've currently got installed. So that's all good. So I don't need to do that. But you will need to install it, obviously, if you haven't got it there. We're going to create a new, and we're going to pop over to the Curves Workbench. And the tool we're going to be using is this one here. And this is a mixed curve, builds a 3D curve as the intersection of two projected curves. And also it's available from Curves Mixed Curve at the top here. So what this does is, if you had two profiles, I'm going to show you a couple of images that we can be using later to use this tool. And it's in pictures, and in here I've got a picture of a mouse, and I've got the side picture here. And you can see that we've got this curve running across here, and also this curve running across here. So I'll create these as a single sketch. So these curves along here, so one for this one for this one. And if we come back and look here, then we can create a couple of sketches for the curves that run across here. And we can create a kind of hybrid curve between those. And what will happen with the hybrid curves, it'll place it in the correct place for where we want it on the model. So it'll place it in the correct orientation and direction, and we can use that to create a n.u.r.b.s surface across there. And we'll be using these images in our demonstration. The first thing I need to do is come over to the sketcher. I'm going to be creating a sketch on here for both those profiles. I'm not going to be using those pictures. I'm just going to show you a simple curve first of all, and then we're going to go into something a bit more detailed. So I'm going to create a sketch, and this is going to be on the XY plane, so we're looking down. Okay, so you can see the top's up here, we're looking down. Now when you're using this, we must anchor it against something in our sketch, because there's certain boundaries we mustn't go past, and you'll be using the construction geometry or a separate sketch to create those boundaries. What I'm going to do here is create a line, a curve, a B-spline, any type of geometry, even if it's closed like a square or a rectangle in there. It doesn't matter which it is. This will have an effect on that curve. These all can be manipulated by this hybrid curve. So we've got the center point here, and I'm going to attach something to that center. I'm going to go for a B-spline, and I'm going to create a random B-spline here, and I'm not going to go too mad. There we go, something like that. So we've got our curve that goes through here, and that's our top profile. So I'll close that, and it's worth renaming it straight away, so rename it to top. It's also worth colouring it, because when you view this in 3D space, when we start moving this about, now we need to go into view to find the line colour, and that's under the object style. So when you're in 3D space, then it can be quite disorientating of whereabouts the top and bottom is with these, if you've just got two curves on screen or a number of curves on screen. So I always like to colour it. So I'm going to colour that one like a red colour. Let's bring it down a bit, like so. So we've got the red curve there, and that's looking down from the top. Actually, what I'm going to do is come in and just concerned for people that are colourblind, I'm going to go for something like an aqua on that. So it's okay that. So we've got an aqua there. And I'm going to bring the line up as well. So we'll go down and have a look at the line width. Let's just increase that line width as well. So we've got our sketch line there. And that's the top. Now we want the side view. So I'm going to create one along the front view. So let's go up to the top here, set to front view. There we go. We can see that looks straight along there, but it's actually curved. So we're going to create, we've got nothing selected, we're going to create something along the ZX plane there, or XZ plane. So using a new sketch, using the handler to orientate myself in 3D space. Then we look at the ZX plane, create a new sketch upon there. We've got this line here, and I'm going to reference this line. So I'm going to be using the create an edge link to external geometry. And if we click that, we get our little crosshairs, and we can pull in this line. And we'll see the two vertices and the line attached to our sketch there. That gives us a reference. This is important that we do this, because we don't want our sketch for the front profile or the side profile to go beyond this point here. So if I place a line here, so it's nice and straight, so we've got this our vertical constraint coming in there. We don't want anything to go past here, because what goes past will be truncated or chopped off, and it won't be applied to our mixed curve, our hybrid curve. That's sitting there. We need to convert that to construction geometry, otherwise it's going to be included in our curve. So we just hit escape, so I've got my mouse pointer back, and we're going to click on this line here and come up to the toggles the toolbar or selected geometry to from construction mode, and that's also available in sketch geometries, and toggle construction geometry there. So when we click that, that'll go blue. So when we come out of the sketch, that won't be seen. It's just a construction geometry. It won't be included in our drawing, but we can attach things to it. So this means that I need to create some kind of shape in here, and it will conform to the shape, and also this one as well, this curve. Now this is our border. Anything past here will get truncated, like I said, will get chopped off. Anything past here will be the same. So we've got two borders. I'm not going to place a line in here because we know we mustn't go past there. So we've got an option. We can attach it to the point here, or we can attach it to this line here if we so desire. And I'm going to attach it to this point for the time being. I'm going to create something in here, like so. And I've kind of gone a bit bonkers with that, but that will do. Now you can see I've gone past here. Now what we can do is just either bring this back, and let's increase this line up, doesn't matter. And let's just bring this into position. So we're looking at the front, zoom in, and I can attach this to this line with a fix a point onto an object. I can attach it to the top if I so desire. So that's there, so it won't go beyond. So that's it in there. Hit close, and we can see we've got two curves. We've got our top curve, and then we've got our front curve. This is why I've coloured it, because we can see that the aqua or the blue one here is the top, and the white one's our side. Let's just bring the line width up with that one. So we've got the same. So we've got two curves there. Now this is where we project. So we'll go over to the curves. So on the Curves Workbench, and I'm going to click on the front. And what I'm going to do is select one of the curves, doesn't matter which way around you select these, and then select the top curve. So I've selected the side and the top. Let me just quickly rename that. Side. So we've got the side curve or the front curve there. So select one, select the other. We've got the projection from the front, and we hit the mixed curves there. Now it looks like it's just overwritten that curve there, but it hasn't. So I'm going to come into this mixed curve, and you can see that's okay. That I don't want to transform it. Come into the mixed curve, and you can see we've got the side and the top there. They're invisible. So I'm just going to bring those back, pressing the space bar, and they've been made visible now. Let's put a little bit of angle on here. You can see what's happened. So you can see that from the front, this curve has been projected forwards to here. We come round to the point where they meet. You can see we've got this curve here and this curve here. And if we look from the top, you can see that our mixed curve, so if I hide the top, it's in the same projection as our top curve. So it's created a curve that's a hybrid between those two. So you can see that there. So we can hide these if we so desire. And we've got a curve that runs along the top profile. You can see that there. And also runs along the side. So it's moved it in 3D space to conform to those two. And can see the reason why we would use it for such thing as that mouse that we showed before. Let's go back to the mouse, and from the side you can see the reason why we'd use it for such things like this, because what will happen if we use that and our top view, like so, that one there, we'll get a curve that's in 3D space in the right position to create a surface across, and we can create this surface along here, and we'll be doing that shortly. So we've got these two, side and the top, in our mixed curve. Now let's have a look at what happens if we go beyond our border. So let's go over to this side, and we've got this border here, and what I'm going to do is just change this back to normal geometry. So when I close this, you can see that's projected as well. So our curve ends up with this line here. So we can see we can make shapes in here and follow a curve if we so desire. And we can see how that's positioned there. Now this is our boundary. So if we go to the side and we detach that constraint there, let's delete that and bring this forwards over this boundary and close that, you can see this is our original curve, but you can see how it's cut off here. So anything beyond that boundary will get cut off because of the projection. We're projecting those two curves, and because this doesn't sit over, if we was going from the side, because this doesn't sit over this, if we draw a line up, then it will be chopped off. So let's have a look at this a bit further. So we're going to actually go beyond this side as well. We're using the side curve again. I'm going to come in and I'm going to try to remove this from this center here. So we'll click on it, hit delete, that should be mobile, and we'll go beyond this, and we'll also add another line straight up. So let's click on that line there and just bring this up here. Close that. We can now see that curve, though we can see this line going past here, you see the resulting curve has been cut off beyond those lines. We'll look at the projection from this side. You can see that projection there. So if we took part of this curve and actually brought it back on itself, like this part here, brought it back, say here, and hit close, you can see what happens now. So you've got two parts of this curve now. Because we've gone back past that boundary there, it's cut it off. Still projected it, but we've got two parts of the curve. We just have to be wary of that, or we can use that, or we could use that to our own advantage. Depends what you're modeling and what application you can find for that if you need it. So I'm in the Sketcher and I'm going to create two profiles along the top and the front or the side. And what we're going to do is with these profiles, we're going to experiment with the different views. So I don't want that one. I want to create it as separate geometry. There we go. So ZX or XZ, okay. And we know it's going to be in line there, so I'm just going to pull that in. So let's project that in. There we go. And we can use a curve in here, so I'm going to attach it to there and just curve this through. Hit escape again, and then these 2 points. Click those 2 points and give them a vertical constraint so those are in line there. So that can't be moved, it can only move up and down that line. Let's close that. So let's experiment with these two. Quick rename. So we've got those renamed now. So let's experiment with those over in the Curves Workbench with that tool. So we know we can do a projection from this side. So click the top one, click the bottom, and we get the projection of the mixed curve. And you can see down here, shape 1 is sketch, which is side, shape 2 is the top. And that's created a mixed curve between those two, like so. We're going to keep that mixed curve there. And what we want to do is keep on the front view, and we picked the side and then the top. What we're going to do is pick the top and then the side and do the same, and they should be the same. So we look at both these, you can see they're both the same there, and if we bring those around you can see there's no difference, except we've selected them in a different order. So you don't have to worry about the order you select them in, that's absolutely fine. Get rid of that mixed curve, so we don't need that. So order you select them in is absolutely fine. Let's have a look at this. So it selects two objects or shapes and activates the tool. The camera direction is saved during each shape selection and will be used as a projection direction. So set these directions to 0 to use the placement of each shape as projection direction. So we look at this, we can see these two are, the direction is 0. So let's come to the top and bring these two back, hide the mixed curve and click the two. So we're doing it from the top rather than the side now, and you'll see that they should be the same. There we go, so those are the same. And you're looking at the direction and those are fine, so those directions are fine. Let's get rid of that mixed curve. This time I'm going to place a bit of skew across this, so I'm going to hide that mixed curve, bring back the side and the top, and bring this around, something like that. click one, click the other, and create a mixed curve. So a mixed curve now still has direction, and the other one we can see that we still have those in the same orientation as each other, so they are still the same no matter which way we do those. Hide one mixed curve, hide the other, and if I just bring one back, control click the other, so one's hidden, one's visible, and I hit the space bar, you see these flip in between, so you can see these are toggling, flip-flopping between these two, and you can see there's no difference between that curve. This time, let's get rid of this mixed curve and just hide that mixed curve. Let's take the top view, click top, change the orientation, something like that. There we go. Click the other one and click the mixed curve. So now you can see we've got a direction change here. And if we bring back the other mixed curve, you can see that we've got something a lot different now. So if you're changing the direction halfway through, so you select one, then change the direction and select the other, then you get a different projection. And you can experiment with that to get the desired effect you want. But I normally use it from one projection and then flip it around to the other projection, like top and side, or just keep in one projection, saying this projection, and then selecting both of them and not moving the camera, and then going for a mixed curve to get the desired effect that I want. For the demonstration of the tool, we're going to be using those mouse images and be creating this mouse that you see in front of you here. This uses a Gordon surface and a number of sweep across two rails. And we'll be creating that from the same images. And this is going to be an in-depth tutorial of how to do each of those parts in there, including the wheel, including the sides. We're going to build up the mouse step by step through there. If that's not already on my channel, please check back in a couple of days and that will be sitting there ready for you. Hope you're enjoying these tutorials, and I'll see you again next time. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my site, and also I have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate a few pence or a few pounds, dollars, or whatever your currency is, and that's at ko-fi.com/mang0, and there you'll be able to help me fund my site, and all the money that I actually get from any funds will actually get pushed back into the channel. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing. I'll see you next time.